Hi everybody and welcome back to the Celtic Way, where we've got a very special video this afternoon, evening or morning whenever you're watching this. We're doing this a little bit ahead of time. My name is Ryan McGinley. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Tony Haggerty at eHaggerty10 and Lecco de Bergamo's Matteo Spini. Matteo, how are you doing this afternoon?
Well, it's very good. Thank you. How are you?
Things are good, yeah. Tony, how are you doing? How are things?
I'm good. Looking forward to Saturday. We shall see about Wednesday.
Yeah, Celtic are going to take part in their third game in the Champions League, the new format, against Atalanta in Bergamo. Today we've got Matteo on, who is an expert in all things Atalanta, who will talk us through the team and talk us through their strengths, maybe some of the weaknesses, as well as Gasperini. So first of all, Matteo, I know you cover Atalanta. They are 8th in Serie A at the moment. They were 4th last season. How's the season gone so far for Gasperini and Atalanta? Got 4 points in the Champions League and they're 8th in Serie A. How are things going so far for the team?
But it's so and so because in Champions League went very well because make 4 points, but win very well with Shakhtar Donetsk. But Shakhtar Donetsk was not a good team, so it was easy and made a good match against Arsenal and made 0-0. But it was a good game. And in Serie A, it was not so good because the beginning Atalanta had some difficulties because the first period in August there was a lot of many injuries and some problems with the transfer market because there was Cop Miners who wanted to go to Juventus, a problem about Lukman, but after stay here and it is one of the best players of Atalanta. But Atalanta had a few problems also in the second part, so lost many matches, 3 or 4 matches for now, and it has not continuity. It's a high up and downs, and but it's a classic Atalanta start. I can say because. Usually in these years with Gasperini, Atalanta usually starts a little bit slow, and in the second part of the season go very fast. So it's I think not a good start in Atalanta in Serie A, but it's in the I think in the programs is not bad. I wait a good. I don't know how to say. I think that Atalanta will go better and better through the months, especially in the second part in 2025. But in September, October, November, usually Atalanta has some little bit problems and lose some point. It's not anything new. But the good news is that Champions League starts very well because the good play of the good game against Arsenal and the easy game against Shakhtar Donetsk.
I was going to say, Ryan, I was slightly encouraged when Matteo said not so good start to the Serie A and they don't have a good start to the season traditionally. But then he said in the Champions League they've been very good. So that tempered my enthusiasm, Matteo.
Yeah, so that game against Arsenal, I know that they also had a penalty that was saved, and then the follow-up was saved by David Raya, a really good double save. How was that game like to watching Atalanta? Because a lot of people were saying they had a really good game against top opposition in Arsenal, a team going for the Premier League title, but they had a really good performance in Bergamo.
Yes, Atalanta was made a good match against Arsenal. As you said, Retegui missed a penalty because Raya made a double save, incredible. But it was a strange Atalanta because of the fact that Atalanta, especially in the first part of the season, especially in this moment, had problems in the defending, and he has a good attacking. And so 0-0 is not a normal result for Atalanta. but against Arsenal was quite perfect in the defending, and in attack it was not so easy, and so Atalanta didn't score. But the particular things in 2 matches in Champions League, Atalanta didn't concede any goals, 0 goals by others, and in Serie A in 7 matches, 13 goals for the others. So there is a to Atalanta, but I think that is not only a question of a problem of how Atalanta plays in Serie A differently than in Champions League, but it depends most part by the other teams, because Shakhtar Donetsk was a really weak team, I think. So, but against Arsenal, maybe it was possibly the best Atalanta of this first part of the season, watching the value of the other team.
Absolutely. So you mentioned Retegui, who he is, Atalanta's top goal scorer. He arrived in the summer. Was it Genoa that he came from? Genoa that he came from.
Yeah,
he scored 7 goals in all competitions at the start of this season. How has he been as a new player?
It is, I think, a surprise, because Retegui was about in August, the day after Scamacca broke the knee. So he had a long injury of Scamacca, 6 or 7 months out. He will come back in spring, and that for Scamacca, for Atalanta, is one top player, is one of the best players and the most important players. It was about 1 hour ago, and the first year up and downs, but in the second part, when Scamacca became good, better and better, Atalanta was at the peak. So Scamacca, it was an important player for Atalanta, and so it was a big problem losing him. When Atalanta, the 4 or 5 of August, in a friendly match against Parma, Scamacca injured. The day after, or a couple of days later, Atalanta decided to buy Retegui. It was an important operation economically, but Retegui, when Atalanta decided to buy him, I thought that he was a player that can fit well in Atalanta. But I think nobody can think that was so important just for the first minute, because he played 7 matches and 7 goals in Serie A. It's the actual leader of the goal scorer in Serie A. He don't score in Champions, but also with the national team of Italy, he scored 2 goals in the last days in a couple of matches. So it was the best Retegui of every time, because he is Italian, plays with the Italian national team, but he's Argentinian, of course, and he scored a lot with Tigre in Argentina. But in the first year in Italia, in Serie A, last year, he scored 7 goals in all the championship. And now he's 7 goals after 7 matches. So it fit very, very good. He scored a lot. He's the real striker of Atalanta, the only striker waiting for Scamacca. Atalanta, Gasperini played also without him, with Lookman and De Ketelaere, with two only attacker, but is not a real striker. He is unique in this moment without Scamacca, and I am curious what will happen when Scamacca will be back. But for now, Retegui is so important for Atalanta because he scores a lot and he fights a lot. He's good with the kind of player of Gasperini, and is the perfect striker in this moment, and is I think the most important news of these 2 months of Atalanta, because at these levels I didn't think it could be, but I think that from now he can score a lot, because it's perfect for Atalanta for now.
Yeah, so he's been scoring a lot of the goals for Atalanta this season. Another player that's used to scoring a lot of goals is Ademola Lookman, the Nigerian international, who's been at RB Leipzig, he's been at Everton, he's been at Leicester as well, but he seems to have found a home at Atalanta under Gasperini. How impressed have you been with him as a player, and in particular the hat-trick that he scored in the 3-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen in Ireland in the middle of the year?
I think I am. I don't know how to say. I am a fan of Ademola Lookman style of play. I think is the top player of Atalanta. If I choose one, I choose Ademola Lookman, because Atalanta is a particular team in this years we see in Europe that plays a particular style of play. It's very muscular, very running players. Like the players like Robbo, very big, very strong, and but in the last years, Atalanta didn't haven't the players like it was Ilicic or Papu Gomez some years ago that have a class and they can invent something. And Ademola Lookman is that kind of player, very different by Papu Gomez and Ilicic, because he's not so creative, so a genius. But he has dribbling. He can make superiority. It's when he is in the right day. Ademola Lookman is one of the best attackers in Serie A. I think the problem is that he hadn't great continuity because has had a little bit of up and downs. But if he can improve in this thing, it can be a very good player at the maximum level, because. And I think it can score a lot, and to be always more the big top player of Atalanta, the star of Atalanta, more than for example Charles de Ketelaere. I think Lookman is the big Atalanta player. Lookman, I mean about attacking style, and the other top player I want to mention him is Ederson in midfielder, because he's the real big player of Atalanta. And Atalanta this summer do a good thing, I think, selling Cup minors to Juventus and keep Lookman and Ederson. But I don't know, I don't say that Cup minors is not good, but it's for that style of play are more important. Lookman and Ederson Atalanta are quite impossible to change in this moment.
Yeah, the Brazilian centre midfielder, Ederson, who was tremendous against Bayer Leverkusen. I think that was his real standout breakout game. I remember being particularly impressed with those two players. So those are the two players that Celtic should watch out for as well. I know that Jim City's scoring goals for Atalanta as well. There's a few other players that are doing really well. How good is this manager, Matteo Gasperini? Gian Piero Gasperini, how good is he as a manager? He seems to have found a home like Lookman, like these other players, and he's now brought them their first European trophy in the Europa League. How important has he been for the club in general?
It was it creates something new in these years, and the particular thing is that Atalanta was a little team in Italy in Serie A till 8-9 years ago, and now it's a big team in Serie A, and also have a role in international UEFA challenges, and also in Champions League. And the particular thing is also that Gasperini is here in 9 years in Atalanta. It's been 9 years, and is something quite incredible in Italy, because only Trapattoni in the 86 completed 10 years, one more than Gasperini. It's quite a record in Serie A, because in Serie A usually the coaches stay 2, 3, 4 years. Here there is the good deal between Atalanta club and the coach and players, and for the most important things is that Atalanta club in these last years was very good to buy the players for Gasperini, because Gasperini has a particular style of play. and some good players cannot fit here in Atalanta, or there are some players that in Atalanta are great, but in another club not so good, because many players go good in Atalanta when they sold them and was a medium player. So the particular thing is this, that Atalanta is specialized now to buy the kind of players that can fit good. There are good players come here, like Lukman, but it was not a superstar outside Italy, and now is proving very well, and others that don't fit here. For example, Simon Kier, it was a defender in Milan, was very good in Atalanta, don't fit because it's a particular style of play. So Gasperini have this style, and Atalanta is good to buy players that can fit here. Retegui is an example, perfect example, and other players don't fit. So for Atalanta buy 3 players, 2 are overperforming because here they are perfect for this style of play, and the third maybe don't go so good. But it always is working with this finger in these years, and that's the secret that Atalanta is going very, very good.
Wanted to ask you, Matteo.
Yep, I'll pass you on to. Yeah.
Is there anything you are inquisitive or want to know about Celtic at this minute?
No, sorry, I don't understand this very well. Sorry.
Do you want to know anything about Celtic? The opposition, we want to ask about Celtic.
Yes, I am in Sicily. I don't understand. I don't know very well the Celtic of today. So yeah, I am curious to know better with this team. I know just a few players, of course, Michael and many others. But I ask you to you, which are the secrets of Celtics of today?
the secrets per se, but well, obviously you know Schmeichel. Schmeichel's a very experienced goalkeeper, but he won't be too happy that he conceded 7 to Dortmund. I think that was a shock to his system, but it was a shock to many of the players' system as well. But they have also signed an £11 million Belgian international, Arne Enkels, from Augsburg in Germany, and he had a cracking first game against Slovan Bratislava when Celtic won 5-1. But again, in Dortmund, and Ryan will confirm this, not many players had a good performance in Dortmund, did they, Ryan? See, not many players had a good performance in Dortmund.
No, it was a very difficult night for Celtic and Borussia Dortmund. He was actually, Arne Engels was the player that replaced Matt O'Reilly, and Matt O'Reilly was linked with Atalanta in the summer as a replacement for Coop Miners. I know that they went to a different player, and Matt O'Reilly went to Brighton instead, but that would have been probably a good fit for Matt O'Reilly in Serie A under Gasperini. But Engels as the replacement, he was the replacement for Matt O'Reilly. They paid a record fee, a record transfer of £11 million for the player, which doesn't seem like that much, but it's a lot for Celtic. But he's a player to look out for. He's good at set pieces, good at free kicks, good at corners. He's quite aggressive in the tackle, good at intercepting the ball, and is a good young player. And he plays for Belgium as well. He was on the bench against Italy the other night, and then he got off the bench against France. So he's made 2 caps for Belgium, and he's a player for the future, but also for right now as well. I'm just having a look at the other things. Tony, was there anything else that you wanted to ask about?
Yeah, we also have Dyson Maeda and Nicholas Kuhn, one on the left, one on the right. The 2 of them, Matteo, are speed merchants, speedy wingers. They're very, very fast, lightning quick. Nicholas Kuhn has had a fantastic start to the season. He's scored 6 and created 8, so he's been involved in 14 goal contributions, and Nicholas Kuhn has been tipped to play for Germany one day, the full German international team. So you will notice these guys because they are very quick.
Very
on the left and the right. Yeah.
Will be interesting because Atalanta plays this particular style is one against one. So we will see very good duels in the attacking and defending one against one. Very, very interesting for
Dyson Maeda, who plays on the left
Maeda.
in particular, he's very, very good at defensive. He is a winger, but he's a very good defensive player, and he will run all day. He has got a tremendous engine, and he will run the whole 90 minutes and beyond. So that will be a very interesting duel, whoever's playing next to Dyson Maeda. I look forward to that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle. Who is it that plays at fullback for Atalanta? Is it Zappacosta? Does Zappacosta play for Atalanta, or is it other players that play in those positions at fullback?
You mean in defense or
yes?
No, in defense usually they plays Kusunu, that is about from Bayer Leverkusen. And he's a good player, but he's new one, so you have to improve to enter in the Atalanta style. But he's an important player, and then plays usually Gin City in the center of the defense, and there is Kolasinac, that is a very experienced player, and also
for Arsenal.
It was a great player when he was in Arsenal. Usually plays at left back, but now he's one of the three defenders. And also there is Isaac Hien. It's Swedish. It is a good replacement. Plays three or four people. And there is Scalvini, that is a very, very good player, very young, but is now out because the same thing of Scamacca, and so he is not in this part of the season if he is out.
Yeah, he was getting linked with the Italy national team and the Euros. He might have been called up for the Euro squad in the summer, but he got a bad injury, didn't he, right before the Euros? But he had a really good game against Bayer Leverkusen. He came on at half-time, didn't he, against Bayer Leverkusen, and he was absolutely brilliant for them.
No, I don't understand. Sorry, can you repeat, because I don't fit very well.
Scalvini came on in the Europa League final, and he had a really good game.
Who?
Scalvini.
I don't. Scalvini. He was one of the best players in Atalanta in these years, because he's only 20 years old, and he plays like an experienced player. He can be a good, important player against also for the national team of Italy. But he will be back in 2025, I think, because 6 or 7 months out because of a knee.
Yeah, that was a shame. He had a cracking game in the Europa League final. He was excellent, wasn't he,
Scalvini? Okay, yes. Yes. But that was a match when Atalanta did everything very, very well, and Lukman was the most important player that day, but also other players good, very well. Was Bayer Leverkusen a little bit delusion, because I think it was, but Atalanta played the perfect game that day, so it was an important win.
Okay, Matteo, who wins, Atalanta or Celtic?
I don't know. I am not good in this thing. I don't know. I have to see a lot of my Celtic match. I don't want to answer because I'm not good.
Sure.
I think Atalanta is a little bit more chances, because he plays in Bergamo, because in Celtic at Glasgow it will be different, because I know it is always Celtic is better in home, like historically, or so I think so. In Bergamo, Atalanta has a little bit bigger chance, but we will see. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the two teams facing off against each other. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that we need to ask about. I think we've learned so much about Atalanta thanks to you, Matteo. I really do appreciate it, Tony. Is there anything else that you want to ask, Matteo?
No, I think that's we've kind of covered the bases there. With excellent stuff from Matteo. Really enjoyed that. I think I'll be watching it like that, Matteo. Celtic traditionally away from home in the Champions League are not very good. They have a terrible record away from home, but hopefully they will do better than they did in Dortmund. Fingers crossed. That's all we can say.
Yeah.
We will
they're
see
really
next week in Bergamo.
Yeah, we will absolutely. What just as a final sort of question, what is Bergamo like? What will the fans expect when they travel to Bergamo to take on Atalanta? What's the city like? Is it quite a quiet place? What is it like? What is there to do in that area of the world?
I don't understand. Bergamo is
what is it like? What is the town or city like for fans to go over? What can they enjoy in Bergamo in Italy?
If it's a safe place, you say, I don't understand because
just as a place, as a place, the town. What is there to do in Bergamo?
Yes, it's a good town. It's not so big, but it's you can see something interesting. It's a nice city, a little bit little, but there are things. But you know if the Celtics fan can be will be in Bergamo, or it's closed the trip for Scottish fans.
Yeah, the fans will be there. Tony will be there for the Celtic way as well. So Tony will be going to the game, but I'm pretty sure there's a big amount of fans going to the game, going over to Italy to enjoy it. So I'm sure there'll be a sizable crowd going.
I think 1,800, 2,000 or something like that, Ryan. Is that right? Something approximating that. I'm sure there might even be more. There usually is when Celtic travel away, especially Italy. They like Italy. They've got history in Italy, haven't they, Celtic? So there you go. Certainly history against Italian teams. So
absolutely, yeah. But they've never played against Atalanta, I don't think. So it'll be the first time the two sides meet, which is good, and it's always good to forge new friendships out with the 90 minutes of football on the park. Matteo, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We really do appreciate it. Fingers crossed for the rest of the season for Atalanta and all the Italian teams. Hopefully it's a good game next Wednesday in Bergamo, and may the best team win or draw, as it might turn out. A draw might actually not be the worst result for Celtic. Thank you very much, Matteo. Thank you, Tony, for joining me on this very special video as we got the inside track on Atalanta. Thank you to everybody for watching. Just a quick reminder that if you want to support our work just a little bit more, you can join our YouTube members channel for £2.99 a month. You will receive early video access, such as this video, priority comments, and exclusive members chat function. Click that join button if you're on the desktop and get involved, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Matteo. Thank you, Tony, for joining me today, and we'll see you all again very soon. Cheers, guys.